What to do when your partner is in a state of worry. Now, during these times of uncertainty and challenge and difficulty and all this stuff that we're feeling, worrying can be the norm for many of us, especially if you're one of those people that have a propensity to be worried about life. You have a propensity to project and have a worst case scenario or way of thinking, or fatalistic way of thinking, and that can bring up a lot of stuff. Now, this isn't a judgment. Many people think this way and feel this way because of their upbringing. They've had a particular upbringing, they've been exposed to a particular way of being, and what's happened is over time, this effect or this conditioning of thinking the worst or having a fatalistic approach to life means that they actually feel safer. And so understanding that and really knowing that is important. Sometimes that can also be linked to self-worth. So we excessively worry, or we legitimately worry, but we excessively worry when you observe in someone, well, do they really need to be worrying right now? And so that there, knowing that may come from low self-worth, low value, low belief in self, that can help us navigate in what do we do when our partner is worrying? How do we behave? How do we act? What do we feel? What do we experience? How do we hold space for them? And so I want to share with you right now what that may look like. And again, just understanding a little bit more of the why. It could be some actual or perceived stress happening. It could be an argument that person had with a loved one, and that informs their sense of self. If they have a codependent style of relating, and you may notice that with yourself as well, or with your partner, if they are highly influenced and impacted by how people think, how people treat them, and you notice that their happiness and their joy is more predicated on how people are behaving with them, inclusive of yourself, you can tell there's maybe a codependent string attached there, an unconscious string, or a cord. And so it's important that you really get clear on how can I support my partner during these challenging times. So let me go into it. So firstly, you've got to do your inner work. Like, you as an individual need to do your inner work. And that catastrophic thinking that we sometimes have, again, it can be a byproduct of growing up, our environment, our conditions, PTSD, experiences that we've had in the past. They affect the way that we show up to ourselves to do the inner work. So what I mean by doing our inner work means addressing our core woundings, dealing with that painful stuff that we've experienced in the past that we've compartmentalized and we haven't gone into in a deeper capacity. It's really important we just get into that place. The next thing that you want to do is not take it personally. You don't want to take how that person is worrying personally. For example, you may project and think, and this is where doing your inner work is so important. You may project and think, well, they're worrying because of me. Now you're becoming codependent, right? You're relying on others, how they treat you, how they see you, how they view you, how they interact with you as a way that you are creating your happiness and your joy. So we've got to go beyond that. And so you don't take it personally. In other words, their worry isn't necessarily about you. Or it could be if they're expressing that, but if they're not and they're just worried and they're stressed and they're feeling anxiousness and anxiety, then the opportunity is to not take it personally so you're not affected by that worry, so you can be more objective and hold that space. And so that brings me to the next point, holding healthy space. Holding healthy space and showing up in the relationship means you're not being triggered by what is happening outside of you. You're not taking it personally. You've done enough inner work on you to be able to hold strong and stable and know that it's not about you. And that way you can actively listen, you can hear, you can be present, you can reflect back to them in a meaningful way. You can practice compassion and understanding, which is the next point. And these are in no particular order, by the way. But you're able to practice compassion, understanding, and that person feels seen and understood and appreciated for their expression. They're able to be vulnerable. Another thing that you may want to do is be vulnerable with them as well. Share something about, you're not making it about yourself. However, because obviously you want to be very much listening to their communication and expression. However, you can share vulnerably as they are sharing with you, because it can be difficult to share anxiousness, anxiety, stress, worry, etc. It can be very painful for someone, so you get to share with them and it becomes a reciprocal interchange, which is, it's a beautiful place to be. Next, knowing their core wounding, knowing what they've experienced in their lives can help you navigate. Now, this isn't for you to be their psychologist or their therapist, definitely not. However, it's an opportunity to tap deeper into relating at a more profound level. So when you understand some of their core wounding, maybe they've been abandoned by their father, maybe they experienced sexual or physical abuse as a child, maybe they experienced a lot of loss, and so now maybe they've lost their job, maybe they've lost their routines, and you can look into the subtleties of what loss looks like. You can see that maybe there's a connection to some core stuff that's coming up, and you just get to understand that. You get to just hold that and be compassionate in that space, and that's really, really important. So you get to sort of tap into that wounding without having to necessarily bring it to light, but just understanding it. Ask what they really need. Literally, just what do you need from me right now? How can I help you? Asking that question can be so profound and so powerful. I mean, really, really powerful. Next, understanding their attachment style. So if they're an avoidant attachment style, or let's just say they're an anxious attachment style, they have an insecure attachment style, the excessive worry makes them cling more, makes them be more needy, makes them panic more about, are people appreciating who I am? Are they liking me? Are they upset because I'm worrying? And they contort themselves and change themselves. So if you know that, then don't pull away too hard, but also set your healthy boundaries. That's very important, but that comes with clear communication, communicated compassionately, speaking your truth, but with compassion and understanding. And so pulling away from them may not be what they need, but if you ask them what they need and then create a balance there where you help them get clear on what they need, you're also by default, I promise you, helping yourself and healing parts of yourself, because more than likely it's complementary wounding meeting each other. So if you're triggered and if you're feeling anxious through their anxiety, then it's something for you to look at. And that goes back to circle back to doing your inner work. The next thing I'd like to say is really understanding their core energetic of, is their core energetic masculine or feminine? Is their propensity to do more in the world, or is their propensity to observe more in the world? Is their propensity to be more active in the world and distract themselves? Maybe in the shadow expression of that is to distract themselves with excessive doing and compartmentalizing their issues and their worry, instead of it showing up in an erratic way or in a very clearly explained way. Do they hide with their productivity in the world? Do they hide with distraction and numbing? Understand what their core energetic is, masculine or feminine, and then from that place, notice, are they going into a shadow expression of the masculine or a shadow expression of the feminine? Now that's a big undertaking, and I'm not going to go too deep into that now. However, you can watch many videos that I've done and many of my articles on my website as well, on masculine, feminine energetics, shadow masculine behavior, shadow feminine behavior, and begin to understand and grasp what that's like. Because if our core energetic is masculine, we'll tend to, not always, but tend to gravitate more towards a shadow expression in masculinity when we're challenged extremely or pushed to our edges. So we have to understand that when we're pushed to our edges, we behave in patterns. Part of that is masculine, feminine, energetic. Part of that is attachment style. Part of that is belief systems. Part of that is value set. So it's really, really important that we understand all of that. And then finally, I just really speak to a person at a level, meet them where they're at. Don't try and solve anything for them if they're excessively worrying. Don't try and fix them or fix the situation. Although they may ask for that directly, then definitely offer guidance and support, but just come from a place of heart open. And what's possible? What could this dynamic possibly look like and feel like moving forward? How can I really serve this person and in turn really serve myself? If this message resonates with you, if this video resonates with you, share this video. Tag someone, comment, let me know your thoughts. How have you dealt with anxiety within yourself and within others or a beloved before? Let me know, let us know, let's grow this community together. Proud of you, inspired by you. Thank you for being here. Blessings, and I'll see you again soon.